Alright, here we are back. I believe we are anyways. Yes, we are. We are back, we are here. So today I am basically just looking to test this out on YouTube. I originally was streaming on Twitch, and now I'm kind of switching over to YouTube just to see what the difference is, if there is any difference. Honestly, so far I'm kind of confused about YouTube, but that's how it is with everything new. When you start something new, it's always a little bit, there's a learning curve to everything. I don't know why it did this, but I think we're okay now. Alright. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy this for a quick second while I double check a few things. This is just an animation I made a little while ago. Kind of proud of it. I like it a lot. It's nothing too fancy, though. It really is just a little walking animation. Most of what I do is half practice as well as actual content, so we do our best. Yeah, that should do it. Alright. So for today, I'm just going to be kind of noodling around with this comic that I'm working on. This another universe that I'm hoping to produce. It's not going to be coming out for a while, but I don't know. Maybe you guys will see it and you'll kind of like what you see, and we'll see what we go. We'll see where we go from there. So it's kind of the start of the comic. Is this is the inside of a mailbox as a Pegasus is kind of checking it. I did not color this mailbox yet. The backgrounds I'm not too fond of either. This is all just kind of a test comic. The focus on it is really on the characters and the positioning and the expressions. Because it's not a new design, not a new creature design, but it is something more original that I'm kind of working toward. Let's see. So I already have this all in mind, and I hope that you'll kind of be surprised as it goes. By the way, feel free to let me know if there are any issues with the stream, like if there's any bad audio or you can't hear me very well, or if you hear things in the background. There are people who live in the house along with me, and they're doing things. It's Sunday, so there's going to be activity on a Sunday. So just let me know if you do hear anything off. This is all just kind of an audio test. Let's see. Let's see. So this is pretty straightforward stuff. We're gonna have some interactions between these two characters, and we're gonna learn a little bit about them as they interact. So, what I should be doing really is figuring out the rest of the paneling for this. So I want the character in the background, which is this character's. These two are siblings here. So I want the sister in the background to be walking up to the brother. And she's got a bit of a neck, so I'm kind of figuring out the anatomy as I do. This is part of the practice, is the anatomy of things. So I'll let this hoof come out in front. Just to make it very light and basic, just to give me an idea of where I'm going to put everything. Like that. Kind of put these limbs in the back here. It's very sketchy, I know, but half of the sketching process is kind of imagination. And it's easier for the artist, obviously. I can imagine the final result. For you guys, I understand this might look confusing at first, but it'll come together once I do figure some stuff out. we go. There we go. Nice circular ears. It's not bad. Just like that. Make the ridge, which leads up to the ear. Like that. Yeah. Like so. And I kind of want to work on some funny expressions, so I might make some silly looking prototypes here. It's a little bit too... It's a horse face, not teeny face. Like that. I might do it. There we go. Mailbox can go right there. Just a simple little shape for the mailbox. Doesn't have to be anything that fancy. This is the next part of the comic page process, is actually writing the dialogue. I'm sitting here thinking about what is the next words they say, which is pretty internal. Not much to stream there. Hold on a moment. You can also see a little bit of the vision coming out, just a little bit. It's gonna get better as I keep going on. Um, like that. I think that'll do it. Because I want them to kind of discuss a little something here. Like so. Like so. Yeah. I can darken this. I didn't realize how light the sketch layer was. Might have been hard to see this whole time. Sorry about that, folks. Like so, like so. I love these close-up shots of the face because you can just get away with not drawing the whole body, which saves a lot on time. There's a lot of empty space around here. I guess I'll just color it all in. But maybe I can separate this. Yeah, I'll separate these. Alright. Yeah, that works. I like that. Hmm. I think we're ready. That was way too thick a line. There we go. There we go. Straighten those lines out a little bit. Get this out of the way. Gotta turn my arm a little bit to do this line right. Whoosh. Wow. Better. I forgot which direction I put the nose in. I think that way. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. He has no defined cheeks. So I'm just gonna... These are all Pegasi, by the way, so I'm trying to imitate the appearance of feathers. I don't know if it's working though. So for now, instead, I'm just gonna do a simple clean line. Maybe in the future I'll update these designs. This is all very new. Very much starting out for the first time. So if you're here in the stream watching me draw, this is like, I don't know, sneak peek into future content. If that kind of stuff excites you. There we go. There we go. Doing that. Like so. Good. Progress. It looks alright. Cancel. I did not mean to click that button. Alright. And now... I need this sketch layer to be a little bit harder to see. There we go. Making progress, making progress. Eee. This is going to be a trickier part, because I have not actually designed this character fully. Rather, I have, but I did a long time ago, and she needs a redesign. So I might end up just making her base body shape, and kind of just leaving it from there. Especially in the background, I can kind of get away with this. It's a little too short. There we go. I'm gonna have to come back to this because it doesn't look right and it's not coming to me. I'll come back to it maybe when I make some more sketches. Let's try this one instead. Oops. Like so. Close. A little bit too far. Closer. Might do that for now and adjust that later. So far, it's kind of looking alright. I don't think I can fit the ear on here. It's just gonna be out off of this panel screen. Thinking. Hmm. Let me try this again. Hmm. Oh. Oh. Huh. A duck started. A toy duck started to quack, and both of my cats went running out toward the sound. Usually, my cats run away from weird sounds. This is the opposite. They ran toward it. It's kind of funny. Really funny, actually. Anyways. Hi there. Thanks for joining the stream, Gorilla. Hope you find some entertainment here. I'm just drawing some comic stuff, testing out audio stuff too on YouTube. It's like this, I think. And then like that. No, it's not a pet duck. I wish I had a pet duck. Man, I'd love a pet duck. It's just some toy duck sound. I don't know what that was, actually. I have no idea. I can't even get up and check because I'm busy drawing. Like so. Like that. Like so. Yeah, I hear good things about pet ducks. I know a few people who have some pet variety of things, including a pet duck. They have land, though. I don't have land to put my ducks on. My day's going pretty well. It's a pretty chill Sunday. How about your day? Is it going alright? Let's see. I want to try a new pose with this leg. Like so. A little bit too much. I don't know what I'm missing there. Good, you having a good day too? That's good. That's good. It's a Sunday, so it's pretty chill and just trying to enjoy it, more or less. This is gonna need to be redrawn, but it's an okay start, I think. Yeah, these legs need to be fixed on that one. It's not looking great. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to that leg. For now, I'll do this guy. He's kind of easier for me. Let's see. Just like that. This comic is not yet out. It's still in development. It's called Light and Shadow University or Light and Shade University. I have not decided. It's gonna be about it's gonna be in a fantasy world about magical beasts. So things like Pegasi, unicorns, so a little bit like My Little Pony, but also other stuff like hippogriffs and dragons, all those variety of different magical beasts. Some original and new too, like Shadow Deer are an original design for this comic. But it's still in production right now. I'm still on my first early stages of it. Ah, thanks. You like the name? Yeah, I like it a lot. Light and Shade University is probably what we're gonna go with. Because Light and Shade, it's in reference to family names of characters within the comic. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff like that. It will mostly be a slice of life comic. We'll be dealing with just the average day of a student, a group of students actually that are on their first year at this university. It's a pretty popular and prestigious place. It's also pretty magical, so a lot of different magical things. So it's a school, but you also learn a lot of fun things like that. I'm still working on a lot of the concepts of it, but in time, I'm going to be coming out with different opportunities for people to donate their own OCs and make their own characters and join in on the story. So if you ever wanted to have if you ever like designing characters or drawing or anything, and you want to see them in the background of a comic, then yeah, that can be something you can do. Let me see. This is an example of a Pegasus base that I've been working on. When I do come out with the comic, and I'm gonna be coming out with different bases and line arts and stuff that are free to use. So if you ever want to join in and make your own character, or even just use these as a little guide to make your own creatures, you can. So that's going to be part of the fun. Part of the fun of the story is, yeah, the comic itself has its own story. It has its own characters. It has its own adventures that we're all going to be joining in on. But there are also going to be opportunities for people to showcase their own ideas and their own characters. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. That's the main goal of this comic. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a little bit of drama, a little bit of self-discovery. Oh, great. That's awesome. I'll be sure to make announcements both on YouTube and on my accounts on other websites. It'll mostly be hosted on ComicFury, because that's just the easiest website to host things right now. But when it does come out, I'll be sure to let everybody know and make sure everyone gets a chance to be included. So background characters will have all kinds of little roles and designs and stuff. I'm still working on a lot of it. For instance, let me show off the prologue. Let's see. It's somewhere else. Here it is. That's not it. Usually I draw a lot of things about cats and real life animals, but I thought it'd be fun to make something that's more magical and stuff like that. So here's where we see some more bonus content in the future. This is very much a work in progress. It's not complete, but this is just an idea of what the prologue of the comic will be like. This is the headmaster of the school. He's going to be helping out new applications or new potential students by basically just sharing what the school is all about. We've got, and of course, here's more work in progress stuff. But we've got different ways for students to be sorted and stuff like that. I'm very good at drawing. Oh, that's so sweet of you to say. I'm always getting better. I've been working on it for years, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not perfect at drawing. You can see some things like the background is not great, but I've gotten better, and I do work really hard at making sure I make some good looking pages and whatnot. But thank you so much, and I hope that I'm only gonna improve as I continue, because this comic is gonna be very ambitious. Some of the fun parts of this comic is that every student, when they do join, as this headmaster explains, when they do join, they do get assigned dormitories. A little bit like Harry Potter. You know how when Harry Potter students they get into school, they get sorted into different houses? And they get sorted based on their traits and personality. In this comic, when it comes to dormitories, everything is going to be completely randomized. Whatever dormitory you get stuck in is the one that you just are stuck in. And the idea behind randomizing these dormitories is that you're not going to come across other personality types that are exactly like yours. You or your character, or whoever, or the characters in the comic, they're going to be coming across different beasts of different races, different species, from different backgrounds. Everyone is allowed to join from all over the country. So you're going to get beasts that speak different languages, that have different foods, that look different, and have different morning routines and how they sleep and how they work, and all this stuff is so different. So with dormitories, the main purpose is that you're gonna meet new people, you're gonna find new things, and we challenge you to kind of make friends or find a way to live with the differences. Because in real life, you're gonna come across differences all the time. You can't get away with it and get away from it. So And differences are not the worst thing in the world either. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they can be frustrating. It's important to learn how to live with them. And it's not just the dormitories either. So you're assigned a dormitory. You don't get to choose it. And the dormitories are based off of the original Latin words of different major animal groups. So you got the reptilis, which is, in reference to reptiles. You got insectum, in reference to insects. Avis for birds, and Pisces for fish, and Mammalis for mammals, and such like that. But apart from these dormitories, you also get teams to join. These teams are not fully designed yet, but there will be a team of 5 different teams you can join, and these teams will be based on elements. These teams you can join every year, and you can switch teams every year. You join at the start of the year, and you must stick with that team to the end of the year. But next year, if you want, you can choose a different team. And the purpose of this is that your teams is based off of virtues and elements and modes of control. So, or no, modes of concentration and virtues. So, thank you. I do like this animation a lot. I do animation on occasion. And some teams, well, the basic point is that these teams you can join and you can actually gather points and achievements for. So every time you do something impressive or you get a good score on something, you get a point. If you break rules, you lose points. Very much like the house points from Harry Potter. But in this case, you get to choose the teams, and every single individual student is encouraged to join a team. It's not required, but I will say if you don't join a team, most the other students will notice. Every team has their own little insignias, their own little outfits, their own little accessories, things like scarves, handkerchiefs, hats, um, boots, stuff like that. And they do like wearing it around the school. It can be pretty competitive. So that's kind of the idea. Dormitories are your home. It's where you're assigned and you kind of have to live with. Teams are the source of the competition. That's where you can join and participate as much or as little as you want. You definitely get students that do get into the teams, and you get some students that just don't care whatsoever. That's fine. Whoever gets whatever they want, they can behave the way they need. But I do appreciate you asking. I do like that you like the concepts, because these are pretty brand new, and I'm still working on it. Um, the next most challenging step for me, I think, is coming up with creature designs. So I want to make a design for pretty much any magical creature I can think of. And there'll be a variety of them. Some will be from ancient mythology. Like I said, you got the hippogriffs and etc., griffins, and dragons. But I'm going to come up with some original stuff that are hybrids of different animals, like the otter fox, for instance. You can be an otter fox if you want. Every single beast has their own kinds of magic, but the magic is different, and it can vary from beast to beast. But yeah, it's very fun. Of course, gotta actually make the comic in order to, enjoy the story. So here I am, trucking away every little line I put down. When I do come up with pages and stuff, I am going to make early access pages available on Coffee. It's really just because I'm hungry all the time and I need a little bit of tip money sometimes. So if I'm gonna be working a lot on it, I'm gonna have those opportunities available. All pages will be made public for free, though, eventually. It'll just take some time. And yeah, coming up with designs can be pretty challenging. I've known some people who can be really talented at it, and I'm really impressed by their works on it. I might even commission some other artists to actually help me out with this to a certain degree. So we'll see how it kind of shakes out down the line. Ah, everyone's nice, so I just return the favor. I know that the internet is said to be kind of a nasty place, but I don't know. I found it to be rather positive. You just gotta kind of you gotta be mindful of who you interact with and who you give your time and attention to. But I find that most people are nice to me online, so I must be nice to them too. And I want everyone to just have fun. That's the main purpose of this comic. I want everyone to just have fun with this. Let's see. But so far, it is coming together. I think his ears need to be closer, like right over here. Let's see. That's true. The internet's not all bad. It's kind of like people. You get the good with the bad. I try to I try to manifest the good, and I don't know. Sometimes it works. Not always. It's not the solution to anything, but it makes me feel good sometimes. Just be positive and kind, share with others, encourage creativity. That's what I like the most. I really like encouraging people to be creative and be thoughtful. So even if you don't think you're very good at something or creating, if you just want to do it for fun, definitely do it. That's so much joy is found from that kind of thing. Just creating, sharing with others. Let's see. Pull it back a little bit. Like so. I'm gonna make the letters invisible for a minute. I need to see. Like that. And like so. It's nice to see a side profile of him. That's kind of part of the test of these these test pages. These pages I'm working on right now are just test ones. It's about the characters before they actually join the school. So it gives me an idea of what I want to do with their designs, what I want to do with the expressions and the pacing of the pages and the format. For now, the size of the pages are now just the size of a regular sheet of paper. So if I ever wanted to like print these pages out on paper, I can do that. So that's the main idea. But part of the purpose of these test comics is to see if I like that or not, or if maybe a different size might be better. It's definitely possible. I'm just rambling about stuff. This is not particularly interesting, I know, but um, it is. It's part of the stuff that runs through my mind while I'm drawing, and I'm kind of just letting myself talk to let people get a little glimpse of one artist's process and what they're thinking. Sometimes I've heard some people find that interesting, so may as well kind of share what I can. I don't stream often, so I like to make it a good one when I do. Awesome. I'm glad you like it. I'm kind of surprised how it's turning out all right so far. I thought this would be tougher, but no, the lines are coming out nice and neatly. So I'm happy with that so far. It's not always that easy. I guess I'm also kind of cheating a bit. The anatomy is not perfect. It's not supposed to be, but that's all right. Like what I think, like what Bob Ross says, it doesn't need to be perfect. Sometimes we don't have mistakes or anything. We have happy little accidents or whatever it is. Um, it was his right hoof, yeah. He has a crystal on his right hoof, right on his wrist. You won't be able to see it often, but he's got a little magical artifact on his body. when did I start this? Like this particular comic concept, I actually came up with it like a few days ago. This is new. Um, these characters, however, are yeah, the comic. So this comic itself is a few days ago. I've been doing comic creation for at least 2 years. I've been doing art for maybe 5. But this LNS University, this is brand new. Now I will say, although the idea is new, the characters and the setting is not. I've had these characters and the setting around for a very long time. It's just OCs basically, just magical setting, magical creatures. There's not really a specific story to the setting. But I had all these characters and I had this setting in mind, and I figured I can make a plot out of it. And when I thought I want to make a plot out of these characters, but I want to make it fun. But what makes it fun? What is fun? And I thought about what comics I've read in the past that I thought were really fun and really lovely and stuck with me over the years. And one of them was a very old comic that another artist actually talked to me about. And it's a fan comic of a popular series, and the it's no longer being updated. It's years old by now, and it kind of dealt with high school situations and popular characters. It was very very cute. Let me bring it up for you. Here it is. So this is just a little snippet from it. It's called Dash Academy. It is a fan comic of the show My Little Pony, and I know, hang in there, bear with me. I know it's a little bit silly, but the artistry and the pacing, the way the story was told, the colors and the characters, the setting, everything about it was very cute and very fun, even though it did deal with teenage situations and things like heartbreak and stuff like that. If you haven't heard of it, no, it's not a big shocker to me. It is kind of a niche thing, and it is like over, let me double check. Oh my god, it is over 10 years old. So this is an over 10 years old comic here. And I read this when I was in my late teens, when I was starting to get into animation and art. So I got very inspired by it. And as I was thinking about my existing characters and what I could do with them and what I wanted to do, what's fun, what's cute, what's nice, what's uplifting, but can talk about tougher subjects without, needing an age restriction or something like that. And I figured a school setting would be really fun because, school settings have their own structure that everyone can recognize and instantly get on board. And they have flaws and stuff like that we can explore. And there's stuff like a boarding school is kind of an interesting setting because all of the characters are all stuck in one place, and it's a new place. It's not their home, it's not their families. It's just these young characters crammed in together. And I decided I'd make a school version. I'd make my own school comic, and I'm just kind of remixing everything that I've loved in my youth, starting from My Little Pony to Harry Potter, even things like Pokemon to a certain extent via creature creation and whatnot. Even Avatar, things like elemental magic and whatnot, and different races and kind of not wars, not exploring war, but things like conflict between different races and foreign cultures and whatnot. That's kind of where all of this is kind of coming from. So it's ultimately going to be simplified to being just the story of young adults going to university for the first time. And it's a magical university. And these young adults will do things like fall in love, they'll get into fights, they'll have good times, they'll have bad times, they'll have adventures, they'll have boring school days, they'll have everything. And that's kind of the main purpose of it all. So this comic barely came up with like a week ago. The setting and the characters have existed for over a decade, actually, but everything else, brand new. It's just making up as we go along. kind of hope that kind of answered the question. I'm rambling again, but that's kind of the purpose of this live stream. Let's see. Now I'm going to work on this character. She is this guy's sister. She has a bit of a similar design to him. They're both twins, but they also have distinct personalities that set them apart. Gotta make that come out clearly. I'm gonna do it like this, yeah. So her snout is much smaller. She's got a smaller mouth, too. Little curvy mouth. Yeah, that looks alright. As much as I want to make cute things, I'm not really that good at it. I've seen people make some really cute stuff. This is just kind of okay. Maybe it's just because I'm making it and I can't appreciate my own stuff. But that's something I want to get better at as the comic is being produced. I'm gonna get better at colors and contrast and character design. That's the best things to get better at. Yes, I do have names. We have here the main character, Senko Lights. I'm gonna type it out. This is our main boy, or one of them. There's gonna be a few different main characters. In case one of them gets annoying, we can always switch to another one. But Senko Lights, he is one of our main ones. He's kind of an anxious boy, but he's gonna be dealing with a few different things, especially with his father. Mostly lighthearted stuff. I have other characters that have not been fully drawn yet, but this is another one who is going to be more of a supporting character, but she'll be coming into her own role. Maybe she'll play more of a main role as I design things, but his sister is named Heartshine. I'll in fact write that down for her. So we have these two so far. There's going to be a few others whose names are still actually pending. We do have Steel Lights, the name of the headmaster. Let me see. Here he is Steel Lights. You like the name? Good. I'm glad. I'm going to be working through the names and making sure they're good, but usually I'm pretty satisfied with the names I pick. But so Steel Lights is actually the father of Senko and his sister. Senko is the son of the headmaster, and in fact, the other main character, who I think is going to be named Shadow, I'm not sure about her name, but Shadow and Senko are both going to be offspring of the two headmasters of the school. Their families have actually founded this university many generations ago, like many of them, hundreds of years ago. So they're not a royal family, but sometimes they're kind of on that level to a certain degree. They certainly don't have authority, but they got a lot of influence just because of having the control over this school. As the school has gotten pretty big over time, and since it accepts so many beasts, it has a lot of influence in a lot of different countries. So the headmasters have a lot of, let's say expectations for their kids. And you know how expectations can be a lot of fun. I want to make this line art a little more smooth, but that ear does not look right. The ear looks wrong to me. I'll fix that later. This mouth is not quite doing what I wanted it to. The design looks great. Awesome! I'm glad to hear it. Their designs have been around for quite a while, actually, so I'm kind of glad that I don't have to like come up with new ones or design anything new. Because designing, it takes a lot out of me. Here we go. This might be it. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Expressions. I always want to make them pop. Good expressions should pop. Alright, let's try you again. So Heartshine, in fact, let me see if I can find her original design. This design is from, my god, it's been almost 15 years since I've actually used this design. But let me see if I can find it. Sorted Heartshine. Here it is. Now this is very old, but I think it's very cute. This is the old prototype design for Heartshine that is the sister of Sunco Lights, the same character who will appear in this comic right here. So his twin sister, Heartshine. I've always been fond of her. She's a sweetheart. She's not a pushover though, but she'll make for a great supporting character. Let's see, like that, and then like that. It looks good? Awesome. I'm glad it looks good. It's an older design too, but you know what? Even if it's old, I think I did pretty well with that original design. It looks pretty good. This is gonna be kind of awkward. I'm gonna have to use the mane to cover up a lot of it because I am like that. Now, let's see. She's much thinner than her brother. Her brother is kind of on the small side too. She's not a tiny mare, or not a tiny Pegasus, but she is a bit more on the smooth and graceful side, as you might almost expect from mares. Not all of them are like that in my story, but Heartshine definitely is. She's not a gentle soul, but she starts off pretty soft. Now it's a bit too long of a leg, so let's try shortening that up. Ah, yes, I think that'll do. And this is actually another point of these test comic pages, is just testing out, just practicing the poses and whatnot. Nope, this is not looking good. I'll fix the hoof. That hoof needs to be fixed, but that's part of the practice. Let's see. This one I can cheat with a little bit, luckily. This is a tough part. Let me figure out. So if I go like this, let me figure out the muscles here. So if this shoulder is here, and it's going like this. So it's going like this, like that. This is the front part of the leg. This is the second part of the leg. So the leg should go like that, really. Here we go. That's better. Thank goodness for Control Z, am I right? Undoing my mistakes. Satisfying. I like erasing things. I think this is getting close. I just need to, like, figure out what to do with this hoof. I think I actually accidentally did it. Alright, yeah, that'll do. I'm not messing with that anymore. That was weirdly awkward to do. Now we'll do this. No? I think it was like that, yeah. Yeah, we're getting there. Sometimes the anatomy kind of works itself out inexplicably, or maybe my brain is just giving up and deciding this looks fine. I'll accept it. The fun part will be figuring out how the angle of the wings should go. In fact, let's give it a try. So it's like right here. Actually, this is not as difficult as I thought it would be. You just plop these lines out like so. Alright, yeah. There you go. Nice. Looks like a Pegasus. I like it. Alright, let me think a minute. While I think, let me play this. Or no, let me play a new one. Yeah, here we go. Thinking. I'm trying to I'm trying to decide on her design because the colors from the original design look good, but they kind of come from nowhere. So there's no family resemblance there. And I could cheese it and say she just gets it from some distant relative, which is fine. So I'm kind of trying to decide here what I want to do. Yeah, I thought it'd be harder too. Sometimes it just works out. I think I'm just inspired today. Because I have to decide on her colors, and I'm not too sure. Let me work on her mane. That'll be easy at least. So I know that I like giving her something fancy looking. She's more well put together than Senko is. So her mane is more stylized. It's not what I wanted though. Yeah, you do like the colors? Me too. I'm sure I can Yeah, you know, I can probably work with those colors and kind of figure it out. She's got little curls. And she's got a nice, pretty hairstyle, but she doesn't she's not obsessed with her appearance, despite now she looks kind of good. So she's not going to have a style that's a lot of work. It's going to be something she can kind of just brush and do in the morning. So it can't be a too elaborate style for her. I do want something nice. Maybe like that. Yeah, something like that, actually. It kind of looks natural, but it also, to me, it almost resembles the shape of her brother, too. So I like the little bit of resemblance without it being a copycat, because she needs to be her own person. I also want her to have a longer hair. So she's gonna have this cascading down her frame. I love it when long hair frames the character like that. Oh, it's so pretty. And I like fluff too. I just like fluffy things too. I want to be able to pet it. It just is very soothing for to imagine soft textures, so I like drawing them a lot. Aw, damn. I like the little twist around her ear. Gow. I get way too excited over my own characters. I'm just pleased. I'm happy. I'm grateful I can make them. Everyone should feel that way about whatever they like to do. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Alright. That looks pretty good, actually. I'm pretty content with that. Yeah. I'm just gonna admire it for a quick second. Because I'm silly like that. And I'm also thinking about something else. Yeah. I like it. I think that's good. Hmm. I think I need to make the border, because it's getting confusing without the border. Let's make it. So the border is going to be these panel lines, basically. Boom. Kind of separates things out. And then and boom. Yeah. Perfect. So let's get rid of this line over here. Perfect. Alright, good, good, good. We're making progress. We're making progress. Hmm. Hmm. To fix up that line, I think, but did I move these? No, I didn't move the lines. I'm sure it's fine. Any goals for YouTube? YouTube is difficult to say because YouTube for animated content is not very good. YouTube, at least recently, and it's not, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that like YouTube tends to um label animation or art, especially cartoony, bright colored art like mine, they tend to label this as for kids. And when something on YouTube is labeled as for kids, that means they're demonetized and you lose out on things like algorithm reach and whatnot. It's a whole mess, and I have no idea exactly how the process works. When it comes to YouTube, I'm just gonna upload my art process every now and then on YouTube and leave it at that because right now I don't 100% know where YouTube is going with when in regards to animation, especially comics. Someday, maybe I would love to get dubbing for my comics and maybe even just straight up animated pilots. That was my original desire. Was I wanted my original dream was to create my own animated TV show, but it's a little bit difficult right now because YouTube is not always very kind to animated shows, and if those shows are meant for kids, like I said, they kind of just they have issues with it. And I think the reason why YouTube is struggling a lot with kids related content is because no one really knows how to market kids to kids online. And some people believe kids should not even be on the internet. And when I say kids, I mean like 10 years old and younger. I'm not a parent, so I cannot say for certain. And especially in this day and age, it's hard to say. Um, but as a creator, YouTube itself as a platform just seems to be really difficult and not very friendly for new creators, especially. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's been my observation and my experience, and I would love to be wrong. But for now, if YouTube is just going to treat people like that, especially their existing creators have who rely on this. You know, they make a living off of YouTube, and when YouTube changes policies, they're endangering that way of life. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live in um. I don't want to worry about that. Is what I mean to say. I don't want to have to worry about YouTube and whatnot. At least for now. When it comes to YouTube, like I said, I'm gonna be uploading content like streams, art streams, and whatnot. Maybe I'll play games on this, but honestly, let's playing content. I don't know how consistent I can be with that. So YouTube, meh, I'm just here. I'm just chilling on YouTube as another member of the community. I'm not gonna say I'm expecting much out of it. My main focus is uploading comics on ComicFury or Coffee or Patreon because those are the websites I can trust that it won't get stolen by AI. That's another issue, is AI thievery. So I don't know how that works right now, so I'm just being careful right now. That's all. Maybe in the future, though, when YouTube changes a little bit, which I know they will, they're just figuring stuff out. It's hard to figure this whole thing out. But someday maybe I will start, I don't know, releasing animated shorts to YouTube and stuff like that. That would be fun. Another challenge with YouTube is audio. If I find a good audio mixer or sound designer or just a good artist in general who can make good songs or instrumental background music, that's when I might join. I might consider YouTube a little bit more. You don't like AI content? Fair, fair. I do not like AI content either. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a big hater of it. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of don't care. I mean, I hate it. I hate the irresponsible things that people are doing with it. But I also kind of like it. It's not stopping me from just drawing my own stuff. It doesn't help me. I'm trying to see what AI can be used for, and I don't see it. I don't know why so many people are using it. It's very clunky and very weird and kind of expensive if you want the good stuff, like anything. I don't know. AI is new, and I think AI is better suited as an assistant to humans rather than as this source of new generated content. You know what I mean? I think we have to come up with our own stuff, and if we use AI at all, I don't know what we even use it for. But if we do, it's more of just assistance stuff. Maybe smarter minds than me will figure out what to do with it in time. But right now, we're a little bit blinded because of, oh my gosh, so much stuff right now. With all the companies flooding so much money into AI, it's become more of a political issue because there's so much money and investment into it. We have to make it work now because we put so much money into it. And because they have that mindset of we have to make it work, we can't honestly explore the real life uses of it without, making it a whole thing about money and whatnot. That's the trouble with AI at this current stage in time. And yeah, you're welcome to hate it, and I don't like it either. I'm also trying to be open minded about it. I'm trying to not be so hateful. I never use it when it comes to art, when it comes to writing, when it comes to anything that a human can make. I just do it myself. And when I see someone else making AI content, I ask myself why. Why can't you make it? I'd rather see you make it instead of this machine. Even if it's not very good, I'd rather see you make stuff. You're a lot better at stuff than you think. Honestly, I do believe that. Everyone's a lot more talented than they think. This ear is giving me so much problems. While I'm talking here, this ear is fighting me, and I'm. Come on. Ah, that might be better. Yeah, there we go. Here we go. You view it as an assistant to help minor tasks. I agree. I think that's the original intent for it. It's really just an assistant to help with minor tasks. It's freaking. Oh no, I'm talking about like the drawing of the ear. Trying to draw this ear is giving me pain. I mean, it's difficult because it's not coming out the way I wanted it to. It's all right though. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I agree. I think AI is really more of an assistant. I think that one reason I'm struggling is that the position of this face is just not good. Mm, yeah, I think what I need to do is kind of move all of this to the side, and that'll fix it. Na na na. I'm sorry, I'm listening to music and I just randomly sang it. I'm not playing the music through the stream only because copyright issues, and I don't really wanna. I don't wanna. I don't wanna do that. I don't wanna bother with it. Um, but I have it playing on my ears. It's pretty funny. I can sometimes I just sing without thinking about it. I think this ear's not what I wanted it to do. This might be better. I think that his expression needs to be more subdued. It's not quite this extreme. And in fact, let me do it more like. No. Alright. I'm hoping if I just draw the dang hair, it'll make it easier to figure out where I want to put the face at. This face is not coming together the way I wanted it to. I kind of can see why. Yeah. Dang, that face looks wrong. Do I plan on streaming often? Honestly, that depends on if people want me to stream. I don't know. I haven't usually received a lot of interest of people wanting to watch it, but if people are enjoying it and people like listening to me ramble or something, or they like seeing my work, yeah, I can do it more often. Some days might be less about. Some days might be streams with no microphone on, though. That's the only issue, which I hope y'all will be okay about. But yeah, I can stream more often, especially because I think showing the process can be really good too. Like that, yeah. Do you watch a lot of art streams yourself? Or do you have art of your own? Anything that you kind of make? I'm curious to know how many folks out there watch art streams online and what they like about them and what they don't. People be okay with no mic stream. You're enjoying the stream. All right. Well, that's good. All right. Well, I'll stream more often then. Um, I can probably stream regularly on the weekend. Sundays and Wednesdays might be the best times for me to stream. Best days at least. So yeah, I'll start streaming more often. Maybe I'll start posting community tabs about watching it. So you like watching people draw? Do you watch a lot of different artists or just random people? 'Cause I agree. I like watching people draw too. It's really relaxing sometimes. It's a little bit better. Yeah, that's a bit better. Hmm. I think my favorite thing to draw and create is probably comics like this, what I'm making now. I like illustrations on their own, but honestly, like, uh, comics are more fun for me because I like telling a story, an extended story with different dialogue, different poses, and whatnot. That's what I like. Oh, you can just watch random people. Well, that's pretty cool. I bet you see a lot of interesting folk that way. I hope they treat you nice. I think this needs to be different, yeah. Yeah. This is a tricky one. I expected this expression to be easier, but that took more effort than I thought it was. This little pose at the very bottom here. Weird. Everyone you met so far has been nice? Awesome. That is what you want to hear. That is just perfect. Looking for niceness in the world. Or at least pleasantries, like not being a jerk. That'd be good. Let me double check something really quick. One moment, please. I've not been paying attention whatsoever to like the quality of the stream, so I hope it's been performing well. I have no idea. I don't exactly have the best internet either, but it seems like it's doing fine. Alright, borders. I need it to be smaller than that. There we go. We're actually making good progress on this page. Pretty soon we'll be able to color it too. I'm pretty surprised by that. Want to organize this a little bit more. Position of the panels is very, very important. There we go. This is exactly what I wanted. Awesome. All right. I'm gonna save my work. Remember to save your work often. Remember to remind the artists to save their work too. Let's see. Whew. Alright. I don't know why this one right here, this very small pose in the background, weirdly is intimidating me. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with that. You know what? Let me sketch it out instead of just doing it at random. Free tips. The best kind of tip is a free one. I guess I could just copy paste this other pose I just drew over there, but nah, I'm gonna do it the hard way because I'm dumb. Alright, now let's try it for real. It's too thick. Alright, getting this part done. Hmm. That's alright, I think. Starting to figure out the legs a little bit more with the practice. It's still kind of iffy. So like that, and then... Nope, I lost it. What was that shape again? It was like a downward thing. So it's all the way down to her. Yep, that's perfect. Sorry, I'm kind of whipping the canvas all around and just going back and forth, trying to figure out exactly how I want this to look. The jaw is a little bit too big. What games do I play? I play a lot of different ones. Some of my favorites are things like Subnautica, Minecraft, oh man, I just play so many, you can't even think of them. Subnautica is the first one that's coming to mind. There are a few indie games I'm playing. Cult of the Lamb is another big one I love. Baldur's Gate, I like that. I'm pretty much done with that. Expedition 33, a bunch of different games. When it comes to live streaming, my roster is a little bit limited because I don't have the best computer. So I don't have an amazing machine, so I can't play some of the new content, like, I don't know, like Resident Evil, for instance. I can't play that. But I do play a lot of different games. How about you? What kind of games do you play? What kind of games do you like to watch? I got a great games collection. That's good. I like a lot of games. Indie games are my favorite, really. But I've got over 300. I've probably got most of the mainstream ones. You play Arc Raiders, Rocket League, Battlefield 6, and some others. Well, those are pretty good games, too. I'm not very good at most of them. I played Rocket League for a while. Um, I failed at geometry, so I didn't get very far. But yeah, I do like Rocket League. That's one of the ones that stand out to me as a fun one whenever I can get my friends to play as well, which does not happen often. It's hard to get my friends together to play anything nowadays. We're all so busy. I did play Pal World for a little while. I liked it to a certain degree, but I think it's a game style that did not catch me very well. The same with Ark Survival Evolved, and those two are on my to play list. Someday I'm gonna get into Ark Survival. I just know it. I haven't done it yet. That's all. It took me years to get into Elder Scrolls Skyrim, so it's one of those things. And eventually, maybe I'll get into it. Okay. It's got really big bug eyes. Oh, I have to make this guy's mane right here. Yeah, it can be a pretty challenging game, Rocket League. Depends on the person. I got one of my friends who was just weirdly naturally gifted with it. Like he'll go flying into the ceiling and just do some weird three bounce trick with the ball that ends it in the goal. I don't know what the heck he's doing. I just hit the ball and hope for the best. If I can find and hit the ball, that's enough. That's as much as I can do. Which honestly, it still makes it pretty fun to play. I'm humming to this music you can't hear again. Uh, it's called air dribbles. Yeah, he's good at air dribbles. He can air dribble all over the air dribbling he does is. I just sit there and watch and it's a wonder. It's a very fun game though. Even if I'm not great at it, it is very fun. I'm very glad that it exists. I think Rocket League honestly deserves a little bit more attention than it got. Though I guess I can kind of understand. There's only so much stuff you can do with Rocket League. Ah, just gonna look at this page really quick. Kind of like how it turned out. The more I look at it. I might switch gears a little bit and see if I can design the shadow deer. Because I'm getting bored and I don't want to get bored, so I'm going to do something else to prevent myself from getting bored. I think it got because one person streamed it. Ah, interesting. That will do it. Either I think to make something popular, either make it accessible or something really funny needs to happen. Really interesting needs to happen. think this might do it, yeah. I think that'll do. Let's try it again. Like so. Alright. More progress. I'm liking how that leg turned out, so I had to vocalize a little bit. Sometimes I can't help myself. Leg like that. And then curve the knee. Thanks, yeah, I think it looks good too. I'm kind of surprised how well it's turning out. You know, staring at animation all day does help, especially when you stare at Bambi all the time. There, that'll do it. Yeah. Alright. So this is gonna be a new base. Or eventually it will turn into a base. Ooh, almost forgot. Most important thing was antlers. Those are like the trickiest part. So antlers will start right here at the top, I think. No, yeah, let's start right here. Alright, there we go. Simple antlers. Nothing too elaborate or even too realistic. It's just supposed to look decent enough. Yeah, good. I'm gonna undo the erasing. Yeah, here we go. There we go, yeah. Alright, now we do the line art. Thinking. Alright, making the progress. And then we have the eye ridge here. Goes down. No, I think that's good. Alright. Yeah, I just realized one of the characters in this comic is gonna legitimately be a princess, or she was in the original creation of her character. I might have to look at that, but the Shadow Deer had their own um, matriarchy, queens ruling. So I don't know if that's gonna carry over in this one. It might not. We'll see, though. Yeah, that might be better. Yeah, there we go. Not too shabby. Oh, that actually kind of looks kind of cute. The legs turned out pretty well, actually. The back leg needs a little bit of adjusting, I think. Thank you. I know. I'm impressed it came out good too. I'm not usually one to be like, "Oh, this looks great" with my own art, but today was a good art day. Maybe I should stream more often if I get this kind of inspiration. 'Cause dang, usually in my art, and usually I struggle a lot more to get stuff to come out okay, even decent. So I'm really happy when it comes out good like that. Maybe good is too nice a word. Decent. Appealing, That's all I'm looking for. Man, that's solid too. I'm gonna save it. Oh my gosh, I have not saved it this whole time. Hold on, let me save my work. Here, shadow base. Here we go. Yeah, I like it a lot. Very good. I think this needs to be fixed though. Nice. Now you can kind of move it so you can see and work on it. And if I were to click it then, yep, everything looks solid. Just gonna tweak up the lines a little bit here and there. Man, I can't wait to start releasing stuff and let people use it. People can make their own little characters out of it, make their own creatures if they get inspired. That would be nice. Gotta work more to do the things that I like to do. But it's all worth it in the end. Oh, gosh. Alright. Alright. Now, I'm enjoying this a lot, and I would continue streaming, but I unfortunately do have to go. I gotta go feed all of my loved ones, including myself. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. It was a very good stream, though. I think I'd like to do more of these. And thank you again so much. Will you post some of these drawings online? Yes, I probably will. Hmm, at least some of them. These comic pages that you're seeing here are not going to be posted online anytime soon. So they're still in a work in progress. I might post them for early access on Coffee, but for now, it's probably not going to be posted for a while. But yes, thank you so much for everything. I appreciate you. You were a great person to chat with. So I hope you have a good day and take care. If you have any other questions, by the way, that I don't answer in time, I can just kind of answer you there. Check out the description as well, or no, the description doesn't have it. I'm on different social media, so I'll be sure to update that. So you have a good one. Bye.